Good morning. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name's Beverly. This is Chris. And we're going to sing some songs for you today. Now, you'll remember we were here a couple of weeks ago, and we sang all these same songs. Our video wasn't working, so Rhona said, wouldn't it be nice to sing the same songs and send them home to everyone out there in Videoland? Hello, thanks for watching. So you guys here, you know them even better, so you can sing even louder, hopefully. Okay? Wake up, wake up, there's a new day waiting here. Wake up, let possibilities appear. Turn your empty glass into an overflowing cup. Yeah, let's stand up. Wake up, wake up. Let go of everything you think you know. Let go, gotta make some room to grow. Ball up all your fears and toss them far as you can throw. Let go, and you know better than anybody what you gotta do. Got nothing to lose and nothing that you're gonna prove. Move on, put your feet on solid ground. Move on, take a look at what's around. There is love in every heart you look upon. And move on. 'Cause right now is all we really know we have. Right now, accept the good, accept the bad. God is on your side and love will always win somehow. Right now, 'cause you know better than anybody what you gotta do. 'Cause am I singing it wrong? Nothing to prove and nothing that you're gonna lose. Basically, you get the gist. Is wake up, there's a new day waiting here. Wake up, let possibilities appear. Turn your empty glass into an overflowing cup. Wake up, there's a brand new sunny day. Wake up, gonna throw your fears away. Wake up, there's a brand new cloudy day. Wake up, wake up,
I gotta correct those lyrics.
Check 1, 2.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you, Chris. And welcome, everyone, to Unity of New Westminster. Is that stable there? We definitely don't want to ruin any guitars today or any day. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. It is so wonderful to see you all here today. Good morning, Reverend Rhona. I know. Thank you all. Good morning, everyone. It is truly lovely to see you all today. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all here today. And Dorothy, I'm sorry you're feeling like you're choking. Look after yourself. It is so nice to see you all and to be a part of this community of love and support and fun and connection. If you are joining us for the very first time, then a very warm welcome to you in person. I am so glad that you have been watching us online. Everyone, we have a new person who is here for the very first time after watching us online for years. So welcome, Carolyn. And if you are one of those who haven't been able to make it here in person and are watching us online, either now or sometime in the future, then on behalf of all of us here, a very warm welcome to you from all of us at Unity of New Westminster. Please come and join us sometime if you're ever visiting or ever able to make it. And if not, we're so glad that you're here anyway. And you know those commercial things, subscribe, like, blah, blah, blah. Please do those things so that we have an opportunity to spread this message to more and more people. And what is the message that we come to hear and to think about every week? It is that we here at Unity of New Westminster offer ideas that empower you to lead a more full and abundant life. We do draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom to be found in our life experiences, in story, in song, in art, in music, in prose, in poetry, and certainly in faith traditions all over the planet. We honor every person's right to choose their own life path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. And our goal is to offer ideas that you may use so that your life has calm, connection, and contentment. So we move into a time of centering prayer as we open our service. We begin by giving thanks, acknowledging with gratitude that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nation peoples and Indigenous peoples everywhere, for their connection to this land. We give thanks that we are able to join together here in person and virtually to remind ourselves that we are connected, that we are each part of the oneness that we call life. By whatever our understanding for God, we embrace the idea that it is one power, a power which is understood by many names, worshipped in many ways. And regardless of the name that we have for the power, we embrace the idea that it is one, that there is no spot that God is not. And that includes each and every person. It is from this sense of oneness that we extend a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment, for healing, for belonging to every person. Seeing beyond the labels which so often divide us and connecting to our shared humanity. We are one. How marvelous. How uplifting. How grateful we are. And so it is. Amen. Before I ask Walt to come and read the daily word, I do want to acknowledge that I am wearing a red dress today. And it's not Valentine's Day. What's going on? It's not Canada Day. What's going on? Well, today is Red Dress Day. And it is... I'll have a special dress for you, Walt. I know. No, this is actually a serious topic. Red Dress Day is a day in which we honor nationally the missing and murdered Indigenous peoples in Canada. This day was chosen to honor the life of Hannah Harris, who was murdered in July 2013 and would have turned 32 today. These are the words from songstress Brandy Moran on her, used to be Twitter, now X page. I read it because her words express it so well. This is a day to honor the women, girls, and LGBTQ plus people affected by the genocide that's been going on since 1942. This violence is intrinsically connected to the land. Survivors are at the forefront of the fight for the land because they know what it's like not to give consent. Today is a time where there's so much that we have to be grateful for, and a time to honor that there are aspects of our society that deserve more attention. So today, in honor of that, we bless all Indigenous peoples. We bless all of the missing and murdered Indigenous people and their families and their relations. And we look to a day when the red dress will represent something that has positive outcomes as a result of our activism. All right. Mr. Segarra, come up and read us the daily word, please. Oh, well, you may have to use the mic.
Hello? Is this on? Yeah. Good. All right, good morning. First I want to say, not that you need to know it, but we have changed the format of our service. OOS, what was that again?
Order of service. Order of service.
Say.
Order of service.
Thank you. We have changed the format of our order of service. And so now It doesn't have my name written where it's supposed to prompt me to say something. So please be aware that if I go on reading and reading and reading, I'm probably stepping on somebody's toe. But in the meantime, I will read the daily word, which is printed right here in tiny little, I think this is like a number 6 font. Anyway, okay, I'll do my best on this one. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. Each new day is a treasure filled with life's gems. I was going to say germs. Gems found in even the most ordinary moments. Joy fills my heart when I pause to notice the wonder that surrounds me. I let my gaze linger as I watch the setting sun or close my eyes as I savor the sweetness of fresh fruit. Yum. Beneath the night sky, I breathe deeply and partake of the fresh, clean air. Now, if I had written that, I would have said, beneath the night sky and the wondrous starry night, I breathe deeply and partake of the fresh, clean air. The beauty of the world pales in comparison to the beauty within me. I am so deeply and wondrously blessed to know my oneness with God and with all that is. There is no greater joy. I wake and praise each new day and feel newly alive. I go out into the world to share the joy of being a child of God in the abundant universe. I spread light and love to everyone I meet, trusting they will know the joy of God as I do. This daily word was inspired by Psalm 92, verse number 4. And it goes like this. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands I sing for joy. And now, speaking of singing, let's enjoy a song by Beverly and Chris. Oh, let me give you back the microphone.
Thank you. That's all right. It's my roadie. Yeah, it's good. Thanks, man.
Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm the voice that calls you home. Can you take a broken promise and find the truth that still remains? Can you hold a candle to the sun and kindle a new flame? Can you open up a window with the opening of your eyes? Can you let the river run away? Can you let your soul cry? Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I am the voice that calls you home. Can you speak the tender treasures that lie nestled in your heart? Can you take a precious moment, send it to stars? Are you following the rhythm of the rocking of the waves? Are you standing in your darkness, being brave? Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm the voice that calls you home. Time has left you hiding far away, far away. The angels have come calling you to play. Come and play. Come and play. Come and play. Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm the voice that calls you home. Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm the voice that calls you home.
Thank you. As we prepare ourselves to hear today's message, let's take a few minutes to get into a place of open-heartedness as we give ourselves this gift of a peaceful pause. If it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes. And if you prefer to leave your eyes open, then allow them to rest gently on a focal point in front of you. And become aware of your breath. Notice this gift of life that fills us and releases from us so smoothly. And with every breath, allow yourself to rest more and more and more. Notice that your body becomes heavier in your seat. And notice that your mind continues with thoughts, things about what I'm saying might lead to new thoughts within you. You may be distracted by thoughts about things that you're planning to do. Whatever those thoughts are, notice them and then sink beneath them. They'll be there when you come back. Sink beneath them to a place in your heart, in your chest. The place where your breath fills your body. And imagine that peace is taking the space of your heart and your chest. Imagine that peace is filling you. And as that peace fills you, imagine it expanding until it fills your entire body, from your head to your toes, from your right hand right across to your left. And imagine that peace as a presence within you. A presence that is always available. Imagine that peace inviting you to turn toward it. Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you know you're not alone? At any time, when it seems that outer circumstances feel overwhelming, know that you can return to this place peace. Be still. You're not alone.
We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. One heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Beverly. I love that. We can change the world one heart at a time. I think that's the only way change ever happens, isn't it? One at a time. It was about 2003, summer, early 2000s. And my son David and I were camping, and for some reason it was just the two of us around the campfire. And he said to me, he must have been about 13, and he said to me, "Mom, do you believe in the Force?" And it was like a light bulb went off for me. Because until then, I couldn't quite wrap my head around a vision of God that would make sense. And I shared some of my confliction, if that's an English word. If it isn't, it should be. My conflicted ideas about God with you last week, about the idea that on one hand there's this loving presence, on the other hand there's this judgmental presence that didn't make sense. And I couldn't quite put it together until this question, do you believe in the Force? And it was, yes, I do. And as I shared with you last week as well, the Force is perhaps the most easy to understand explanation for God that I have, for me. And it need not be that for you. If you prefer, and it brings you comfort, to think of God as a figure, a person-like figure, then that works for you, that's awesome. And if you prefer that there is no God at all, and that works for you, that's awesome too. And if you're somewhere in between with a big fat question mark, that's awesome too, because what's true is it's one power. By whatever name we have for God, or the creative energy in which we live and breathe and have our being. And so now when I say God, though, I mentally think in terms of something akin to the Force in Star Wars, the energy field created by all living things surrounding us, penetrates us, binds the universe together. And I see Grant over there reciting these words because you should hear him with his Yoda voice inflection. Yesterday, May the 4th, Star Wars fans everywhere on the planet celebrated May the 4th Day. It's actually called Star Wars Day for those who love Star Wars, because one of the most common refrains that you hear in the series is, "May the Force be with you." And so May the 4th just sort of became the time that people think of May the Force be with you. And that is why I chose today to talk about this idea of the Force. And my document is too small. I know. I'm pulling Walt. Use the Force. There we go. Last week, I explained or explored unity's basic foundational principle. That principle being that there is only one power. And we spoke about all of the different names that there are for that one power. And recognizing that whatever the name is that we might have doesn't really matter. In fact, as I mentioned last week, my friend Reverend Julie used to say, call it peanut butter. It really doesn't matter what the name is as long as it works for you. The important thing to remember is that whatever the name is, there's only one. That means there is no place that creative energy is not. And we spoke a little bit about what some of the implications of that might be. I'm going to switch devices without even missing a beat here.
And you can increase the font.
And I could increase the font if I wanted to, yes. And one of the things I spoke about was the idea of using the sun as a representation of God. And in many cultures, ancient cultures, that's exactly what they did. They would actually worship the sun. And realize that even though different languages and different cultures will call the sun by many different names, it doesn't alter the fact that the sun is there. That the sun shines no matter what we call it, much as the presence of creative energy is there no matter what we call it. And I shared 3 major implications last week, which I'll just review briefly. 1, that there is no favoritism in God. That just like the sun shines through the clouds or not through the clouds, the sun is there for all. Whether you've been a good girl, a bad girl, gone to church, not gone to church, sun doesn't care, neither does God. That's the first. And I have to share this because it's too cool. And that is, I didn't last week, is this excerpt from Monty Python, The Meaning of Life, where we have this idea of God, and we have to, bow down to God. And here's how it's done in that movie. Whether you like Monty Python or not, appreciate the over-the-topness of this. Let us praise God. Ooh, Lord, you are so big. So absolutely huge. Gosh, we're all really impressed down here, I can tell you. Forgive us, O Lord, for this dreadful toadying and barefaced flattery. But you are so strong and, well, just so super. Fantastic. Amen. Isn't that cute? God doesn't need that. The sun doesn't need that. It shines anyway. The second implication that I shared was that it's all included. That life and death and joy and sadness and youth and aging, sickness and health are all part of life. That life isn't a contract. That if you do this, it doesn't guarantee that this is not going to happen to you. It's all included because there's no spot that God is not. And so I invited you for step number 3 to trust that there is order within the chaos. That there is bless in the mess, even though at times we can't see it. We know, for example, that without death, we don't make room for new life. It is a necessary order of life that we leave this experience so that new life can come to it. As my mom says all the time, it's all good. Everything that happens has the potential for good and for beauty to be the outcome. And so all of that is background for today, which is an extension of there is no spot that God is not. In my language, one universal power, a network of all. And that includes us, and it will shift for some of us something that we may have grown up with since we were little, which is, you are a sinner, you're not worthy. Jesus came to die for your sins. I can't tell you how much I struggled with that, because I could never figure out how God, who created so many things that are so perfect, would make such an inferior product out of us that he would need then to send someone else down somehow 2,000 years ago to make up for me being a sinner today. What if that wasn't an explanation that we agreed with? What if we are worthy? What if we are beings of light? In the vast universe of Star Wars, we see characters who embody the essence of the Force, embody the essence of creative energy. And one of these characters is Master Yoda, who is my favorite. His wisdom transcends time and space and religion. And he says this: luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. What he's saying is we are light. We are light. And so is every person on the planet. And we see it easily when we look into the face of a child, the face of a baby. We can see light. We can see how they bring us light. We see the beauty of God in flowers and kittens and puppies and all gorgeous things around us. Right now in springtime, we smell the beauty of spring, and we see the activity of this creative energy, the force, at work, and we admire it and we celebrate it, and then we look in the mirror and we forget to celebrate ourselves. Luminous beings are we. And we are part of that creative energy. Now, we're not the whole of creative energy. Oh my goodness. I mean, if I was the whole of the force, I probably wouldn't have hair that's starting to turn gray, and I certainly wouldn't be the age I am now, because it was more fun when I was her age, and I wouldn't be aware of time passing, although it's pretty fun right now, so I shouldn't say that too much. But there are things that are within our control and things that we don't have control over. Would you not all agree with that? Like, none of us would wish to be ill. If we had control over that, we'd choose to be healthy. So there are times that stuff happens that we don't have control over. And yet, if we are part of the force, if we are part of a creative energy, then by definition, we also have creative power within us. So there is a point at which, again, as always, we have this both and. Both unable to influence everything around us and able to manage our own energy. Have you ever had an experience where you were in the shower or driving along somewhere and you had an aha moment? I was coming down 140th going towards Crescent Beach Road one day, and I remember it that clearly, that as I was driving, in my head I heard, it all comes down to how you manage your power. And I was like, what? Yes. There is no spot that God is not. That means that you may have heard of the dark side of the force and the light side of the force. It's not the dark side where the force is not. It's the dark side of the force. There is no spot the force is not. There is no spot that creative energy is not. There is no spot that God is not. And within that, we have tremendous power over the things that happen to us. Sometimes not so much about the actual specific, but certainly about how we respond to it. So one of the questions we might want to ask ourselves is, how am I managing my power? Dr. David Hawkins, in his book, Letting Go, suggests that we consider everything that we do from a framework of consciousness. And consciousness for me is one of those words that is too big. So I think of it as energy. What energy am I bringing to this situation? And he suggests that there are different levels of energy. And he has them on like an actual linear scale. The lowest energy being behaviors that we would then identify as the dark side of the force. Things like shame and despair, and then moving up to guilt and apathy and grief and fear. Finally, moving up in energy to courage. Now we move to the light side of the force. Courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, the ability to reason, and then moving even further up to love and joy and peace and enlightenment. See, we have the energy to form at all times. The force is always with us. We have choice about how we will use that energy. Do we want to add more dark or more light? That is up to us. And just as we have, imagine a safety net that sits about here. If we take something that's heavy, we're part of an interconnected whole. We approach something with anger, with frustration, with fear, with irritation, with resentment. All those things will sap energy. And if you imagine that we are part of one interconnected whole, then whatever we do actually has an impact on the all. It might be minute, but when you're in it and in its vicinity, we certainly know what that feels like, to be impacted by someone else's dark energy. The same is true the other way, though, and that's the power of our power. That we can actually uplift and raise, and whatever we do to that net also affects the all. Because we are, each one of us, part of the allness. That is life. That is the universe. In any situation, we can ask ourselves then, what energy am I operating from? And when we find ourselves, not if, when we find ourselves operating from a place of lower consciousness, lower energy, then we can be kind to ourselves, higher energy, and encourage ourselves to choose again. What's the next most loving action I can take? What's the next most peaceful thing that I can say, or maybe I won't say? What's the next most generous and kind thought that I can offer in this situation? Take time to be still so that you are aware of the fact that you have access to the force. And then be intentional about how you direct your energy. This is what prayer and meditation is all about. It's the time to be still, The time then to be open to new insight. That's what meditation's for. The time to intend a higher outcome. That's what prayer is. I leave you with this idea. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, suggests that our mission is to express all that we can imagine God to be. Our mission is to express all that we can imagine God to be. Our mission is to express all we can imagine the force to be, the dark side or the light side of the force. The prayer for protection, then, which is written by James Dillett Freeman, this is how it goes. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And when we sing, as we'll do today, we often say, the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you. Or we say it about ourselves. Light surrounds me, and so on. But something was missing for me. And here's what I realized. If we put ourselves, taking Fillmore's idea, if we take anywhere where the word God is and put ourselves in there, then we can be the presence of God, the presence of love, the presence of peace. Because, we are it. There's no spot that God is not including us. We're like representatives. And what do we want God to represent today? And if that is true, then instead of the word God, I'm going to put the word you. The light of you all surrounds me. The love of you all enfolds me. The power of you all protects me. The presence of you all watches over me. Wherever you are, I am. My love for you enfolds you. The power that I have protects you. The presence that I am watches over you. Wherever I am, you are. We are all one. There is no spot that God is not. You are part of the power of God. You are part of the force, and the force is part of you. Choose to use your power and be a force for good. You can choose to use your power and be a force for something else. But remember, what you do affects me. What I do affects you. We are one. May you remember that the force is already always with you. The words, "May the force be with you," are not an invocation or a request that the force be with you. It's a reminder that you remember the force is always with you. May the force be with you.
One power, one power, one power. There's one power, it's invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But difference only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such differences were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign, it's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation, it's an everlasting peace, it's the freedom of forgiveness, it's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of our nations. It's the the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for the love that is most deep. It's one power. Cause what we are is one power. One power. One power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's what we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I on? Yes. And thank you, Reverend Rhona. And, of course, His Highness Yoda for those wonderful, inspiring words. That was lovely. Thank you. I was told, no, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I was asked to keep this short because we have to run right after service. Rhona's son, my dear stepson, is running a marathon today. As a matter of fact, from Elizabeth Park to and through Stanley Park. And I don't know where he's going to end up, but we want to be by the finish line, and so we will be taking off right after service today. And if it were me, I would be there to catch me as I wind up. Hopefully not for him. Anyway, back to announcements and such, my job. Please join us in person and or on Zoom for our Monday medication. Starts at 10:30 and goes through 11:15 or whatever time you like. We check in with each other. We enjoy a guided meditation. We read the names of the people on our prayer list. And if you want to add a name to the prayer list, yada, 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 you know the routine. And you could also, oh, never mind, I'm sorry, that's getting in front of myself. Additionally, join us on Zoom on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Wisdom Wednesdays. Now, that's a day where we have a discussion about today's talk. Oh, look, there's White Rock people here. Hello. We have a discussion about today's service. Now, there's a thing written in the script about that, but I don't need to tell you guys because you're here, you're out there. So if you know somebody that hasn't seen today's talk and would like to see today's talk, it is on the internet. Otherwise, the rest of you, I hope you'll remember what we talked about today. Aaron, hello there. Okay, Zoom, blah, blah, blah. If you want to replay the message, we got that. Okay, also be prepared to come out after service on May the 19th, because we hope to transform our spiritual yard into a beautiful place for our community. We will be, that beautiful yard means that we have to weed, prune, dig, paint, glue. What are we gluing? And fixing and fixing. Lots of fun to be had. Ooh. And lots to do. So please join us. Bring your work clothes and work gloves. We're grateful for your gifts, which support our ministry. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments. So if you're not placing anything into the contribution basket today, please bless it silently and pass it along. And, I'm directed to look at the camera. And for our online viewers, that's you. You'll find a donation link in the description of the recording, and please like and subscribe, as Rhona suggested earlier, all of that. Dare I say again, yada, yada, yada. Okay, as we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something that you're grateful for, because we are blessed. Look at all those smiles out there. I love that. All right, we are blessed. Thank you.
So I forget how to play it, so I'm going to make the chords up.
Okay. I am so blessed. Where is that? I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. All that I have, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
It has been a really fun service for me. I love your music. I love the words of One Power, which was written by Daniel Nahmod. I heard that Daniel Nahmod is coming to Unity of Vancouver to do a concert at the end of July. So as soon as I get more details, we will be sharing that with you, because he's amazing. And thank you also for the songs that you've written, Beverly. Thank you, Chris. I never know which one of you is the songwriter, but thank you all for being here. And as Walt mentioned, we are going to sneak out. So as soon as we gather for Let There Be Peace on Earth, we're going to make our gentle exit so that I can go and see my boy as he crosses the finish line. This is his first marathon, and Mom's very proud. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. For those of you who I haven't had a chance to say hello to yet, please know I'm sending that hello to you without getting to you today. And thank you for being here from White Rock for the first time, for all of you who are joining us as regular community members. We are truly blessed. And thank you for joining us online. And thank you to all who participated. Walt, thank you for your platform. Somebody, as you were saying yada, 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 somebody was saying Yoda, 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 which I thought was pretty fun. And thank you, Cliff, and thank you, Ludwina, thank you, Greta. Thank you to all of you for being here. Let us join hands together and sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. I won't be here next week. Janet will be our guest speaker, but I'll be back the week following. Look forward to seeing you then, and I love you. Let there be peace on earth. I'm going to Toronto. Okay, we're going to sneak out. We're going to leave. We're going to leave.
What?
No, it wasn't going to come through. We'll just sing it, okay. You go, bye. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace I was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yay, goodbye. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God wherever I am. God is. One more with that one. I think we do it twice, yes? I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God wherever I am. God is you. Here we go. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God wherever you are. God is. One more with you. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God wherever you are. God is. Should we raise the key? We're going to go higher. We're going. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God wherever we are. God is. Last time. All is well. Woo! You have to learn that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, because we don't have to do all the modulations. You can do one modulation.